Hey everyone, I'm Zach, your personal trainer from ZH Fitness. Today we are diving deep into the science of chest workouts. We'll uncover the most effective exercises backed by research and explore the optimal rep range and volume for maximum gains. But before we jump into that, let's get acquainted with the anatomy of the chest. Contrary to popular belief, there's actually no inner chest or a way to target it specifically, but we can find a way to optimize growth and define the chest as much as possible. The chest, or pectoral major, consists of two distinct parts, the clavicular head and the sternocostal head. But let's keep it simple. We've got the upper, middle, and lower chest. To target each area effectively, it's crucial to understand the direction of the muscle fibers. For instance, the upper chest, also known as the clavicular head, has fibers that run upwards across the body. So to hit this area hard, we need exercises that follow this direction. This means that instead of benching with the arms straight out away from the body at a 90-degree angle, it's beneficial to adjust the angle upward, like so. But before we adjust the angle and hop on a bench, let's discuss which angle is optimal for upper chest stimulation. Well, according to a study done at the Cardiopulmonary and Metabolic Research Laboratory at the University of Toledo, a 30-degree angle appears to be the sweet spot. EMG studies conducted showed that the 30-degree angle resulted in the highest upper chest activation. Angles greater than 30 degrees showed a decrease in chest activation and increased activation in the anterior deltoid as it began to take over the lift. Now, should this be done with a barbell or dumbbells? Dumbbells offer a greater range of motion, which is crucial for hypertrophy and muscle activation, which is key here. With the barbell bench, you'll notice a limited range of motion compared to dumbbells. Notice the hands are much closer at the top of the dumbbell lift, allowing them to travel further across the body like the fibers of the chest. And how the elbows are able to drift further back towards the bottom of the lift, allowing for a greater stretch. This was reflected in the EMG study, which showed overall greater chest activation with the dumbbells. Not to mention, dumbbell benching is healthier for the joints as it allows for natural mechanics, unlike the limitations imposed by the barbell bench. Dumbbells also allow the limbs to move independently, strengthening the stabilizer muscles and preventing muscle imbalances. So what about the middle chest? The middle chest is part of your sternocostal head, making up around 75% of your chest. With fibers running straight across the body, targeting this area is pretty straightforward. You'll want to perform lifts that follow these fibers. This can be done with lifts such as the bench press, pec flies, or even push-ups, to name a few. However, flat bench press seems to lead the charge when it comes to effectiveness, but this doesn't mean that you shouldn't maintain variety in your workouts. According to a study done by the American Council on Exercise, the middle chest showed the greatest activation on flat bench press, followed closely by the pec deck machine and the bent forward cable crossover. So if efficiency is your goal, prioritize the flat bench press, and as mentioned earlier, dumbbells seem to be the greater option here. For a proper flat dumbbell bench press, lie flat on your back with a dumbbell in each hand and your feet planted firmly on the floor. Place your hands in a pronated position and about shoulder width apart. Next, place your elbows at approximately 45 degrees from your torso and begin to raise the weight. Extend your arms fully without locking your elbows out at the top. At peak contraction, squeeze the chest together almost as if you were trying to make your elbows touch one another. Then, slowly lower the weight back down to chest level. For a consistent starting in any position, aim to begin around the nipple line and end with the weights at eye level. Now that we know how to target the upper and the middle chest, let's talk about how to target the lower chest. Since the fibers in the lower chest run in a downward direction, we'll focus on exercises that follow this same pattern. Decline bench, cable flies, and vertical dips are a few great options. And according to the EMG studies, seated cable flies induce the most activation in the lower chest, followed closely by slightly declined dumbbell bench press. To do this properly, adjust the bench slightly at a decline. Again, holding the dumbbells shoulder width apart, repeat the same process as before with the flat dumbbell press. Or if you have access to a cable machine, set the cables above head where you're pressing at the same downward angle. This allows for full range of motion and a complete contraction. Now that we've covered all three areas, let's talk rep range and volume. Which one is best for maximizing chest gains? I'm assuming, like me, your main objective is hypertrophy, which just simply means the growth of muscle tissue. Then adjusting your sets and reps accordingly is key. Take a look at this diagram. The lower 1 to 5 rep range tends to build more strength, and as you climb into the 8 to 12 rep range, you'll see an increase in muscle growth. And as we approach and exceed the 15 rep range, muscle stamina seems to reap the most benefit. This is widely accepted as the gold standard of bodybuilding, and after looking into some studies, I was able to find some truth behind this. According to the National Library of Medicine, 8 to 12 reps was a sweet spot for hypertrophy, when done for several sets at 60 to 80% of your 1 rep max. Ensure short rest intervals of around 60 seconds between sets and gradually increase your workout volume over time. For now, aim for around 12 sets per muscle per week. But remember, none of this is possible without proper nutrition, so if you aren't in a caloric surplus, you can forget about building muscle mass, as this will practically be impossible. If you aren't sure if you're in a caloric surplus, you can use our free calorie calculator at zhffitness.com. Just input your gender, age, height and weight, and your activity level. If you leave the goal set to maintain weight, it will give you your caloric maintenance level. As long as you're consuming calories greater than that number, you're all set to build muscle. This is known as a caloric surplus. So aside from being in a caloric surplus, follow the direction of the muscle fibers, use optimal angles, utilize the benefits of dumbbells, and train in the 60 to 80% of your 1 rep max range with 3 to 5 sets of 8 to 12 repetitions. Follow these steps consistently and you'll see impressive chest gains in no time. Nothing is more appealing than an Arnold-like chest. Except for maybe your arms. And because arms make such a big difference and they're the first thing that people see, we made a video on how to build big bicep peaks. So if you're someone struggling to build those arms, feel free to check that out. Otherwise, thanks a lot for watching and we'll see you on the next one.